Welcome to the Vol Bros. My name is Evan. This is my brother Rustin. And after what seemed like an eternity, folks, we're here to preview a college football game played by the Tennessee Volunteers. It is very exciting. Rustin, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you ready for this weekend?
I'm ready for, honestly, the weekend starts tomorrow. I'm ready for North Carolina and Minnesota tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, that's the first game on the college football pick'em challenge picks for this week. There's still time to do that. All you got to do is just go to thevolbros.com/contest. And I'll share my screen right now so everybody can see what that looks like. All you got to do is go here and you sign up right there at that link, and then you pick your games right here. Picks are due by this evening because the first game is tomorrow night. It's North Carolina and Minnesota. And we've already had a whole bunch of people join. That's super exciting. I think we're 35, I think now. 34. So very cool. So not a whole lot of folks. If you like your chances, you get a $50 gift card to Alumni Hall if you win. $50 gift card. So we'll pick the 10 best games nationally each week. So far, some of the best team names I've seen come through are 5-star Hearts. That's pretty good. Feels like 98. We got one of those in there. Nico for Heisman. There's been some pretty good names come through so far. I believe Rustin is 1 week at a time. Is that your team name?
Yep.
Nice. Mine is Volbro Evan. Ricky Allison, one of our honorary bros, his team name is Volbro Heckler Ricky. And that's because if no one's caught on yet, Ricky, when he joins us on here, he likes to put a comment in the chat there just to see if it can make me laugh before I announce it on the screen. And 9 times out of 10, he succeeds at that. Sandoval has already submitted his list, and his team name is Santa's List. I like that. Well played by Sandoval. Rebecca, welcome, Rebecca. Good to have you. She said 3 more sleeps. Absolutely. Very exciting. Go Big Orange. Absolutely. But Mr. Schmidt there. Absolutely. So we hope everybody joins us for the College Football Pick'em Challenge. It is not too late. Yep. Tyler, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. Tyler submitted his picks. He is Rocky Top Reverend. That's his team name in the list there. So when I post those tomorrow, everybody will know which one's which. So very, very exciting. I hope everybody continues to join us in that. Like I said, you got until midnight tonight, so you got about 3 more hours to get your picks in. Thevolbros.com/contest. Thevolbros.com/contest. And I'll put that in the comments on Facebook and YouTube right now. I will also put it on X for those currently watching on X. Let's see here. Well, it's making me sign into X for some reason. Good news is I can do that pretty quick. All right. So for those of you watching on X right now, first of all, we appreciate you watching. And in the comments on this live stream, I just posted the link to that Volbros contest page. Mina Laggy said, how about those Rainbow Warriors? So they are on this pick'em list for this week. UCLA against Hawaii. That's one of the games. Tony said, let's go. He's excited. It's game week. Absolutely. Mr. Jones said, I know every year when my birthday comes around, it's near football time in Tennessee. Is today your birthday or is it this week? You got to let us know, Mr. Jones. Maybe we can get a Joe Milton autograph for you. You got to let us know if today's your birthday. If so, I hope you have a fantastic birthday. Hey, Mr. Jones turned 37 yesterday. I hope you have I hope you had a great day, man. So we're very close in age. I'm 39, so we're very close in age. Hope you had a fantastic birthday, Mr. Jones. Natasha, welcome. Good to have you. She said, so ready. Go Vols, Tennessee Pride. Absolutely. Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. He said, Robert Meacham, more days, fellas. Might as well say Kevin Burnett days now. I like it. I like it. So, this is going to be a little bit of a surprise to Rustin because I have not told him anything that I'm going to ask him tonight. I've got 3 questions. One is our prediction. Listen, everybody already knows if you watched our prediction show for the whole season, both of us predicted Tennessee and went shocker. I know, but both of us picked Tennessee to beat UTC. We'll give a score prediction later. So if you want to give us your score prediction in the comments, that'd be great. We'll give you ours here in a little bit. But Rustin, my first question is: we look forward to this Saturday. And first of all, thank you all for joining us on Wednesday. Normally our preview show is Thursday, but I'll be traveling tomorrow night. I won't be getting where I'm going to till about midnight or after. So I was going to miss the ability to stop and connect on this live stream. So appreciate you joining us tonight instead of tomorrow. Rustin, I guess my first question is, on Sunday, the next time we're live, Sunday night, and we're talking about the game Saturday, give me one person on defense and one person on offense that you think we will be talking the most about.
Yikes.
Told you I didn't prep him with any of these questions.
Offensively, I hope we're talking about Chris Brazzell.
Nice pick.
I think if he shows up and plays the way he's played all camp, there's nobody in UTC's secondary that can handle him. So, we should be talking about him. Defensively, who do I think we're going to be talking about, or who do I hope we're going to be talking about?
Hey, it's our show. Do both.
I think defensively, we're going to be talking about James Pierce Jr. for the exact same reason as Chris Brazzell. I don't see anybody on UTC's offensive line that should be able to get within a foot and a half of him at all times. Who do I think we're going to be talking about? If we handle business and lots of guys get lots of reps, this is the kind of game that Jeremiah Thielander could really stand out because he's going to get a lot of snaps. If we handle business, he's going to get a lot of snaps. He's going to fly around, make a lot of tackles. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's our leading tackler Saturday.
All right, so I like your method there, because when I thought about this question, I was like, well, I want to say one person, but I think I need to say another person for the defense. And it's exactly one of the same guys you just mentioned. But so I'll start on offense. I think we're going to be talking about Nico. I know that's the easy answer. I get that, obviously. But here's the deal. Rustin is exactly correct. Let's give UTC some credit. They are a good FCS team. They very well may win the Southern Conference this year. They are not in the same ballpark as Tennessee right now. That's just the bottom line. And so, just like Rustin said, there is no one in UTC secondary who can cover Chris Brazzell or Squirrel White, or for that matter, Dante Thornton Jr. There is no one who can keep up with them. So for that reason, if those guys are running down the sideline wide open and we hit them with a pass, all those passing yards are going to go to one guy, at least for a half or maybe three quarters. So I think his stat sheet's going to be a little impressive this weekend, not only through the air, but also with his legs. I don't think he's going to run a whole lot, but I do think, in short, maybe first and goal, third and goal situations, you might see him pull one and take it in himself. So passing yards combined with touchdowns, both through the air and on the ground, I'm going to go with Nico. I know that's the obvious answer, but I think in this situation it's going to be the right one. So for the defense, I'll agree 100% with Rustin. All eyes are going to be on James Pierce Jr. And because of that, I almost think there might be a little positive bias in his favor, because so many people are going to be watching him. We're all going to be watching him, that when he does anything, we will take notice. We'll be like, I knew it was coming, And so, whereas other people might have fantastic games as well, just our own bias as fans might skew us towards James Pierce Jr. because we're all going to be watching to see what he does all game long. So that's the person that I think I should pick. Who I hope I get to pick is Omar Norman Lott. Um, I seriously hope that when we walk out of this game, we're like, oh man, that is the dude that we all expected to see all year long last year, living in the backfield. And for that matter, Omari Thomas as well. But you want to see our interior defensive linemen handle their interior offensive linemen. Because listen, Joshua Josephs, Jordan Ross, Caleb Herring, James Pierce Jr., they're going to get theirs. I mean, that's the bottom line. Bryson Eason, when he comes in, he'll be moving inside and outside. They're going to get theirs. I want to see Omari Thomas and Omar Norman Lott dominate. That's what I want to see. Because if they dominate like they should, then that bodes well for the following week against NC State. So, go ahead.
I'm not sure. So I almost said Omari Thomas, but I'm not sure that defensive linemen are going to have a big week this week. UTC had, I believe, 2 players who got invited to NFL camps off last year's defensive line. I'm not sure if either of them made a roster, but I feel pretty confident they had 2 guys that got invited. So, that means this offensive line, and most of their offensive line returns from last year. So this offensive line for UTC faced 2 NFL guys every day last year. So for that reason, I felt like I think Omari Thomas and Omar Norman Lott and Elijah Simmons and those guys, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll play well. I don't think they'll be I don't think they're going to get moved by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't think they'll have as big of a day. And honestly, I think that's probably why James Pierce does have a big day, because I think the interior defensive line will occupy those guys to where they can't double James Pierce, and that's what's going to free him up.
Some of the comments coming in, people making their predictions. Mr. Jones says he predicts Nico and Boo Carter are the 2 people that we're talking about the most Sunday night.
Or could also have a really good day. We're playing 34 different ors Saturday, so
that's true.
Or is always a safe bet.
This was the most comical depth chart ever released by the University of Tennessee.
Heupel showed the world how much he truly hates depth charts when they put that one out. I think the biggest thing that stood out to me, though, was kick returner was listed as Cam Selden and Deshaun Bishop. And Squirrel White was listed as number 1 punt returner. So do I think that means Boo isn't going to return anything? No, but it was fascinating to me that he wasn't listed as the starter at either spot. So it'll be interesting to see where he fits into all that. But, Boo's an amazing talent. He's got incredible ability. But all the rumors about him struggling to fit into systems and not understanding assignment and alignment may have translated into special teams as well, because I was shocked to see him not listed as a starter at either of those kick returning jobs.
Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up the depth chart real quick because running back was probably the most comical.
I don't know. James Pierce's position was pretty good too. We had four co-starters at James Pierce's position, who is, everyone's unanimous number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
He's really fighting those other 3 guys for time.
Yeah, for real. So at running back, all 5 running backs, it says Dylan Sampson or Cameron Selden or Deshaun Bishop or Khalifa Keith or Peyton Lewis.
Yeah. We have a 5-way tie for starting running back. And if you believe that, I would like to talk to you about some land that I'd like to sell you.
Yeah, exactly. Every defensive line position except James Pierce Jr.'s, his has 4 people, like Rustin said. The other 3 have 3 people listed as co-starters. So that means we had 13 defensive linemen listed as co-starters on the depth chart.
Yep.
Let's see. At tight end, all three of them are listed as co-starters. That'd be Ethan Davis.
Which, if I was Charlie Browder, I'd be pissed. I've been there a long time and I couldn't get an oar.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that was just, it was laughable. I mean, that's laughable. All of them. All of them. Yeah. Punt returner. So this is interesting. He had three dudes listed as Orr, Squirrel, and Boo, obviously, and the third is Jermon McCoy.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He's continued to shine. Everybody talks about he's been by far the best player in the secondary in camp.
So whoever that Orr fella is, he's really something.
He better be in good
this
shape.
depth chart.
Yeah, he better be in good shape because he's playing a lot of snaps Saturday.
Yeah, he is on both sides of the ball. Let's see here. Tony gave his score prediction, so I'll come back to that here in just a moment. Carson, what's up, buddy? He said, "What's up, all bros? Looking forward to Saturday." Absolutely. Tony said Jeremiah Thielander and Deshaun Bishop will be the ones we're talking about. I like it. I like it a lot. Listen, they're both going to get a bunch of snaps. That's for sure. They will both get snaps. So they will both get opportunities to shine. Eric said, "What's up, Evan and Rustin? 3 more days until it's football time in Tennessee. Can't wait." Absolutely. Absolutely. Herb, I think it's a great point, buddy. Thank you. Welcome. We're glad you're with us. He said, hopefully we're talking about how good the offensive and defensive lines were. Absolutely. You win in the trenches, right? So I love that. That's a great, great thing. Carson S., what do y'all think the final score will be? So we're actually going to do that here in just a moment. We're gonna give our score predictions here in just a second. Oreo Puppy Dog, welcome, buddy. Good to see you. He said Dante Thornton has a big game. I hope so. I mean, the combination of his speed and height, no one in Tennessee's defensive secondary can match up with that. And so hopefully he does. He said Boo Carter on defensive side of the ball. I think Boo will get a lot of snaps this weekend. I think he will. Tony said he also hopes we're talking about our tight ends on Sunday. Yeah, I'm really interested to see, especially if you missed our show with Reed Carringer this Sunday. Everybody go back and watch that show because Reed had a fantastic take on the tight end position. And after he got me pumped up listening about it. So I think I'm very excited to watch how they use the tight ends, how the tight ends are lined up. If there's formations with more than one tight end on the field, I think that we could very likely see that. Mina Lackey gave her score position or prediction, so I'll show that here in just a moment as well. Carson said, I think James Pierce Jr. will have at least 3 sacks. I mean, he might. I'd say at least 2. And I think 3 is certainly possible, if not more. Eric said if they doubled James Pierce Jr., that might open up for Joshua Josephs to have a big game. So that's a good point. There will be so much attention on James Pierce Jr. that likely they will not necessarily, that double team, Josephs will be on the other side of the line, but plays may go towards the other side of the line. So they might be running away from James Pierce Jr., or they might be rolling the quarterback out away from him towards Joshua Josephs. And that could allow him to have quite a big game. You're exactly right. Matt, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said he's going to be watching that secondary on Saturday. Yep, totally agree. 100% agree. Mr. Jones said special teams needs to perform well. Absolutely. Mississippi Vol, great pick. I love this pick. He said he's going to say that we're talking the most about Arion Carter on defense. I love it.
If they double team James Pierce Jr., that's the guy you're going to see getting a lot of work. Because if they're double teaming James Pierce Jr., it's either going to be with a tackle and a tight end or a guard and a tackle, which if it's a guard and a tackle, that means they're going big on big, which means everybody else in line is bodied up. So Joshua Josephs will be bodied up with the left tackle, which means there's nobody for Arion Carter. Maybe a running back, but I'll take Arian Carter against any running back UTC has. So that's probably the guy. If they do double team James Pierce Jr., that's the guy that's going to have a huge day.
Mr. Jones asked who returns kickoffs, and we mentioned just a little bit ago, so I apologize. I'm getting to the question late here. This is actually the one time on the depth chart that or actually matters. So it has Cameron Selden or Deshaun Bishop, and that's actually legit because they'll both be on the field at the same time returning kickoffs. So that one, it'll be one of the two of them whenever they decide to kick the ball to. Let's see. Mississippi Vol said he's looking forward to seeing Chris Brazel on offense. Bender of Strings, welcome. Good to have you. He said there's more oars than on a Viking longship. I like that. Well played, sir. I like that. Mr. Jones said ready or not, but there's going to be a lot of oars on there for sure. VFL in Texas, ex-Texas Tech VFL. Welcome, buddy. He said go Big Orange. I'm guessing that he used to live in Texas. I'm guessing. We're glad you got the correct shade of orange, that's for sure. Tyler said, I just hope for one ambipedaling punt from our guy Jackson Ross. Absolutely. Well played, sir. Well played. We have maybe the only ambipedal punter in the league. For those who missed our show last Thursday, we discovered that if you can use both feet for what we normally would refer to ambidextrously with your hands, it is called ambipedally. And so we're going to say that all the time now, actually. Actually, when I came upstairs to the studio area here, I was ambipedaling, walking up the stairs with both feet. It was fantastic. So well played, Tyler. You get 10 points for the evening. That's well played. Let's see here. Bender of Strings. Ooh, he said, do all the oars just show how fragile football players' egos are?
It just shows Josh Heupel's incredible hatred for depth charts. He does it. He does it intentionally. He's going to put that exact same depth chart out for about 6 or 7 weeks straight. It won't change. It'll keep having all those oars on there. He just does it to make people mad. He hates it.
Matt said, I can imagine Heupel and crew laughing as they made that play chart or that depth chart. Mr. Jones said, could we see Mike Matthews or any offense players on defense? I think we see Mike Matthews, but I think we see him in the fourth quarter. I think he gets in 4 games this year. Tennessee, Kent State, UTEP, and what's the fourth one, Rustin?
Vanderbilt.
I think we see Mike Matthews in 4 games because he still preserves his red shirt if he plays in 4 games.
Yeah, if you're asking, are we going to see Mike Matthews on offense? Yeah, he'll get some snaps. If you're asking if he's going to slide over and play any defense or if anybody else is, no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I do think we see him. I think we see Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley for the majority of the fourth quarter. I think those 2 dudes are in there pretty much the whole fourth quarter. Let's see. Bender of Strings said the most important depth chart question is who backs up Jackson Lampley when he gets hurt on extra points?
Miraculously,
well played, sir. Well played.
He will get injured at least once, but miraculously he will recover quickly. The question is who else is on the injury train, the extra point injury train, because there will be 3 or 4 of them who have been designated injured.
Let's see here. Mr. Osborne said, go Vols, everyone. Vols win big, 59-10. So there's Mr. Osborne's prediction, 59-10. That's a pretty good prediction. It's actually pretty close to what I was going to predict. VFL and formerly in Texas asked if the weather's going to be a big deal. So
I just checked it. It's a 50% chance of storms all afternoon. Which those of us who live in East Tennessee know 50% chance of anything in East Tennessee means who knows.
Yeah. Literally anything. Let's see here. So hopefully not. I mean, that you want the good first game to be good weather. Oreo Puppy Dog said, "This year I want to see the punter pass or run for a touchdown." Absolutely. I mean, we got teased about it last year. Mike
This
Eckler
year,
sitting there praising him about having the third best arm on the team, and we never got to see him throw
this year, I want to see the punter do nothing but stand on the sideline.
it.
If the punter
That
stands
would be
on the
cool.
sideline all season, we're 16-0.
Mr. Jones said his final score prediction is Chattanooga forfeits after they can't get off the bus for fear. Mr. Jones said he hopes we're talking about Christian Harrison. I'll be cool with that.
That was the other thing that disturbed me a little bit. The fact that Christian Harrison's starting at the star and Will Brooks is starting at strong safety instead of Jacoby Thomas. That means everything I was hearing.
Christian Charles.
Yeah. That means everything I was hearing was true. Jacoby Thomas hasn't been performing in practice. That dude, I hope, because that dude's a baller. I hope he's a gamer, and when he gets out there, he's going to turn it on, and they're going to be like, okay, we blew it. He's clearly a gamer. He'll be out there. I hope he's not taking a step backwards because he needs to be playing major snaps.
Well, they're all going to get their snaps this week, that's for sure. And this is their chance to showcase and, you know, make their case for why they need to be on the field next week when it's against NC State. Keg 2071 said it's game week. Go Big Orange. Absolutely. Matt said he's real high on Arion Carter this year. Absolutely. Bender of String said, I think Ethan Davis will be the big breakout player on Saturday. Man, I hope so. I think that'd be wonderful. He catches a touchdown pass or two.
I'm just going to say this now, and I may need to say it again Sunday night when we do our recap. If the tight ends don't do anything on Sunday, don't overreact. I mean, on Saturday, don't overreact. Heupel's MO in all of these non-conference games is run RPOs like crazy and show nothing. And sorry. And in the RPO system, there's not a whole lot for tight ends. So, don't be surprised if tight ends are kind of missing on Saturday. It's not that they aren't playing well. It's not that they're not going to be a big part of this system moving forward. He just doesn't want to show anything, and he's just running his base stuff.
Because there is quite an important game the following week, that's for sure. Cole Keeblick actually put NC State in the playoff as the ACC champion. So definitely not a game to look over for sure. The VFL of Texas said that he's just doesn't want anybody to get injured, for player personnel. Totally agree.
Yep.
Totally agree. Let's see. That'll actually come back up in a minute as well. Mr. Jones said they need to run a feint punt. Everybody goes deep. I love it. Carson said, do you think Gaston Moore will get any snaps? I think you'll see Gaston Moore pretty much the whole third quarter. And then maybe a series or two in the fourth, and then Jake Merklinger is going to come in. Let's see. Tyler said it's like his press conferences. Talking about Heupel. He said he doesn't like to give info on purpose. Coach Josh Heupel is a media member's worst nightmare because they have nothing to write about other than speculation.
Yep.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Mr. Jones gave his prediction, or Eric Jones did, so I'll save that. Let's see. Like said, 50% chance of rain means yeah, who knows, right? Who knows? Brendan liked all the or puns. Welcome, Brendan. Good to have you, buddy. Brendan's joined the college football pick'em challenge. I saw him earlier. Several people on here have already joined. Very, very cool. Vols by 50. Carl joined. So we're excited to have Carl back with us again. Let's see here. Tony said, I know they have an easy game, but NC State plays tomorrow night. Hey, good point. Everybody can go ahead and watch NC State, see what they're doing. Let's see. Like said, RPO question mark.
So run pass option. Typically there are set RPOs that teams run as part of their system. The ones that Heupel typically likes to use in these kinds of games, the run is an inside zone almost always, and he's just letting the running back find the lane they want to attack. As far as the pass option, the quarterbacks are taught to read how many players are in the box to start with. So if there's 6 guys in the box and there's 2 safeties deep, they know that if there's trips out to one side, they've got 3 receivers to one side. Okay, we now have that side outnumbered. So, we're going to ride the dive on the running back, stand up and immediately throw the screen game. Sometimes the RPO will be a route combination. So the outside receiver might run a quick hitch while the inside receiver runs a seam route up the middle of the field, and the quarterback's just reading safeties or reading corners and going, okay, I know it's a pass option, so I'm going to hit the open guy. It's very simple. It's very easy to run. It's very easy to read, and it doesn't show the defense in the future anything at all. There are a lot of coaches who have made an entire living off the RPO system. Every once in a while, they'll throw in some wrinkles. They might let a guard pull on the RPO just to show something different, or they might, stack the line of scrimmage and have extra tight ends in there. And the RPO is literally just if Brew McCoy's out there by himself and the guy's playing 8 yards off, we're going to ride the dive and throw the hitch to Brew and let him go run that guy over. So it's real simple. It's easy for the quarterback to read. It's easy to call. The offensive line, it's crazy easy for them. I mean, it's literally just zone block right or zone block left every play. So it's not complicated for them. And again, for every future opponent, they have nothing to scout. I mean, it's just basic stuff that everybody runs. And he's just assuming our guys are better than their guys. So we're just going to run our base stuff and go score.
Bender of Strings said North Carolina State is the Kentucky of the ACC. Lots of preseason hype. Starts out strong, then peters out by season's end. Over the last few years, it's probably a fair assessment. Sam said, I look for Tennessee to shorten the game by running more. In the second half, I agree. I think they're going to let Nico air it out in the first quarter.
I think it's all going to be RPO stuff. I think they'll have a few wrinkles where, maybe that concept I just mentioned, maybe they invert it and Brazel's on the outside running the fly route and the hitch is the tight end on the inside as a hot route. There's only so many ways you can run RPOs. So it's not complicated.
I think there will be multiple plays where they say, hey, Squirrel and hey, Chris Brazel, go be fast. And they just literally let him run past the defense and they throw him the ball.
And in the one I just mentioned, they can do that. They can go trips to one side, have Brew on the opposite side. They can run inside zone with Dylan Sampson to the left. If he reads pass, he can stand up, and the tight end can be running a quick hitch from the farthest inside member of the trips. So he's the hot route if they get pressure. And the 2 outside guys can be Brazel and Squirrel, and Squirrel can run kind of an inverted fly route up the seam while Brazel runs a fade route to the outside up the sideline. And, it pretty much puts pressure on the corner to play man all the way down the field because Squirrel's going to occupy the safety. So that's, it's definitely a bind they can put UTC's corners in pretty easily.
Carson said the only way UTC will score is if our 4 strings in the game. I don't know. We'll see. They're a good team.
They were an 8-5 team last year with most of their starters returning, including their quarterback who originally played at UCLA under Chip Kelly. And he got snaps. He played a few games at UCLA as a freshman. So he's a good player. They've got some dudes. They'll hold their own for a little while.
10 Cup just asked a fantastic question. With the changes in timing during the game, like play clock stoppage and that kind of stuff, or game clock stoppage, do you think scoring will be less than previously? So for many teams, I would say yes. For a Josh Heupel team, I'm going to say probably not, but there's no way to know until we see it actually happen.
I think our scoring will actually go up, because the clock's never really stopped for us previously. When we run our offense at warp speed, clock never stops. Um, and now we get a 2-minute warning at the end of each half. So I think they'll use that 2-minute warning as an additional timeout, and it'll probably add
Yeah.
a touchdown a game.
Although the NCAA, this is the dumbest thing ever. The NCAA is vehemently opposed to calling it a 2-minute warning. Apparently,
Yeah.
they are, which everybody knows that's what it is, but they don't want to call it that.
Yep.
So they're calling it the 2-minute timeout. That's what they're calling it. Because that's so different from 2-minute warning. That's like totally different. I the things that they choose to be persnickety about is hilarious to me. Bender of Strength said it'll be interesting to see if helmet communication makes any difference on how fast our offense goes.
That's another reason why I think we, especially, I'll tell you where that's really going to come into play is this week. Because if we are just doing nothing but running RPOs, Heupel already knows when he calls the play who's going to be open. So he can literally just tell Nico, hey, we're running, inside zone left. Brazel's going to be open down the sideline. I mean, he doesn't even have to stop and think about it.
Sam said it's more like the 2-minute commercial break. You're exactly right. So that's what I'm curious to watch to see what happens. Last year they made some changes and it was to shorten the game. However, actual game length in regular time did not shorten. All they did was add in more commercial breaks and stuff like that. In theory, the changes that have been made to, the clock continuing to run on certain plays, all this kind of stuff, if in theory that is supposed to shorten the game, we will know after Saturday if it really did or not. Because if it's still 3.5, 4 hours because of all the commercial breaks, then it didn't shorten the game at all. Matt said money. It's a drag. I mean, like that's this Saturday. We'll know if it really is gonna be shortened. I heard somebody talking about this one time, and it was a really interesting perspective. And I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, but they essentially made the same case you did, Rustin. They said that they actually think, on average, this will actually increase Tennessee's amount of possessions per game by 1, maybe 2 possessions per game. Yep. And one of the things I think they mentioned was, the shortened clock isn't going to hurt Tennessee because, I mean, let's be honest, we have seen numerous times in the last 3 seasons that Tennessee scores in under a minute and a half. Where this is going to hurt is the opposing team because they're not used to playing at that speed, so they might get less possessions. I mean, let's be honest, Tennessee never wins the time of possession battle, ever. So the people that it actually ends up hurting are people who hold on to the ball longer per possession, which will never be Tennessee ever.
Guys like Josh Heupel and Lane Kiffin, guys who really understand X's and O's and do a fantastic job setting up plays with with other plays, they're going to have an increased advantage because, Lane Kiffin's a master at this. Josh Heupel's really good at it. They will call plays in the first quarter to see how somebody lines up and how they adjust, knowing that in the second or third quarter they're coming back to it with a slight difference, and they're going to just torch you. And where that comes into play with the headset is there's going to be plays this year where Josh Heupel's going to just say, "Hey, Brew's going to be open on the dig." And that's going to be it. Like, they're not going to call a play. Everybody's going to run whatever play is called from the sideline, but Heupel's already going to know because he's already set it up, and he's going to be able to look, just tell Nico in his ear, Brew's going to be open on the dig. And Nico can just take the snap, drop back, and throw the pass knowing who's going to be there and what's going to be open because Heupel's already seen it. So that's where you're going to see the biggest difference is you're going to see, in my opinion, I think we're going to see more explosive plays because the great play callers are already going to know it's going to be there before they call it.
That's a good take. That's a very good take. You talking about that reminded me of a video I saw this week. My buddy Scott sent it to me. It was a video of Eddie Perez from the Atlanta Braves talking about Greg Maddux. And
can't wait for that documentary to come out. The clips have been insane.
Yeah. So Eddie Perez is talking about they were playing the Astros. Jeff Bagwell was hitting. And Greg Maddux, before the game, told Eddie Perez, we are not throwing him anything inside. Everything is going to be away the whole game. Late in the game, 8th inning, 9th inning, something like that. Greg Maddux calls Eddie Perez out to him and he says, I want to throw this pitch inside. And Eddie was like, okay. And so sure enough, he throws a pitch inside. Bagwell turns on it, hits like a 400-something yard, or not yard, 400-foot bomb over the left field fence. After the game, Eddie Perez walks up to Greg Maddux. He's like, what were you doing? You told me not to throw anything inside against him. And this was late in the season. And Maddux told Eddie Perez, he said, we've got a really good team. So do they. We will see them again. And when we do, he's going to be looking for that same pitch. And so, sure enough, like 3 weeks later, they were playing him in the playoffs. Here's Bagwell late in the game against Greg Maddux. He throws him 3 changeups outside, strikes him out on 3 pitches.
There's another clip from that documentary where Leo Mazzoni comes to the mound to take Maddux out. And he gets to the mound and Maddux tells him no. And Chipper Jones is standing there on the mound like, I don't think you're allowed to tell him no. And he said, I'm going to make him pop up to third base on the second pitch. And sets him up on the first one, second pitch, pop up to third base. And they said Bobby Cox was in the dugout just fuming because that was not what he instructed. And said when Max got him out, Leo Mazzoni looked at Bobby and went, well, guess he was right. And there's another clip where
it ended the inning.
Yeah. And there's another clip and this just blew my mind. Greg Maddux played baseball in the pros for 23 years. He called pitches with his glove by how he caught the ball when the catcher was throwing it back to him. How in 23 years did no one figure that out?
They didn't have Connor Stallions.
That was mind-blowing.
Carson said, do you think Nico will run a lot this season? Yes, but not on Saturday.
Yeah.
You will not
see him running on Saturday.
Bender of String said, did we even prepare for UTC? I can see us skipping this to focus on NC State. I think they did. I mean,
Heupel's talked about this before. Did the coaches prepare for NC State? Yeah, they've been preparing for them since May. Have the players seen anything about NC State? No. They have only seen UTC. They've only seen UTC prep. Heupel is adamant about this. They do not ever let the players look ahead.
Bender of String said, probably already announced, but is it a sellout on Saturday? I actually believe it is. I could be wrong, but I think they announced that last week.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. The only game that's not a sellout right now is UTEP.
Green Wave said most games are seeing 7-8 less snaps and 7-8 more minutes of commercials. If not more commercials. Absolutely.
We all needed more flow from Progressive in our life.
Absolutely. Yes. Mr. Jones said the Vols are going to score during that 2-minute warning somehow. Let's see. VFL and Text said, do we have a chance of landing the wide receiver, Jamie French, on Friday? I mean, I don't think so, but you always have a shot when you got, Heupel's offense. And I mean, the guy's been to campus multiple times, so that's good, but it sounds like he's leaning other places. Let's see. That's a good question. Mr. Jones said Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux was a 12 punch in the lineup.
1-2 punch.
Oh, yeah, 1-2 punch. There wasn't a hyphen there. My bad. Matt said the headphones are a cheat code. Yeah. So I have a Brennan said he saw that video too. So I have a slightly differing opinion on the in-ear communication than most folks. My opinion doesn't matter at all, but so I don't think it's gonna. I only think there's going to be very specific scenarios where it actually benefits Tennessee, because Tennessee is trying to snap the ball every 8 seconds. That's lightning fast. Like, you don't have time to talk to your quarterback except maybe like 3 words in 8 seconds, because he's reading the defense as well. Like, there's not a lot of time for that to happen and still be snapping the ball within 8 seconds. The one time when I think it will actually benefit Tennessee is the thing that we've seen Heupel do multiple times over the last 2 years, especially. When it's third down and long, they like to get up to the line so that the defense can't sub. Then they stop and look over to the sideline and get the play call that way. At those times, that's when it's going to be benefiting Tennessee so much, because I'm assuming, I haven't heard officially, but I'm assuming that it's going to be the same as it is in the NFL. The head coach will be able to talk to the quarterback until the 15-second mark in the play clock. At that point, communication gets cut off. So in those situations, I mean, my goodness, if they get up to the line and there's still 30 seconds on the play clock when they get to the line of scrimmage, and they look over, 15 seconds for Heupel to sit there and talk to Nico is an eternity. I mean, that's a long time. Because, if they're snapping it every 8 seconds, that 8 seconds includes running up to the ball where it was spotted and trying to get the snap off. In this situation, they got 15 seconds where they're just standing there talking. I mean, that's when it's going to help Tennessee. I legit think if they try to use in-ear communication in between every play, that will slow them down. Like, I don't see physiologically how it couldn't. There's no way they'll average 8 seconds per snap. There's no way. And so that's why I think that we will see that being. Will he say like 1 or 2 like quick words to him? Sure. But they're not going to communicate a whole lot until it's third down and they're looking over at the sideline. Let's see. Sam said we need less football, more commercials. Or he was saying that's what's going to happen. I agree. Missy all said, I agree, Russ. Those progressive commercials are as stale as a 1-month-old bread. Mr. Jones is probably right. He said headsets will be used to give the next play, not the current play. They're trying to stay one step ahead. I mean, yeah, probably that's very fair. Mr. Osborne said, it won't surprise me at all if Heupel uses a mix of headset communication and the old signaling system. You're exactly right. It's 100% what's going to happen. And he's already said that they're still going, just to keep the speed at which they move, they're still going to be using the 3 guys on the sideline, with the different colored shirts and all the signals and stuff. They're still going to use that. The in-ear communication will just be for Nico and Heupel. Everybody else is going to be looking at the sideline. Brennan said 3 words is all Heupel needs. You're probably right. I mean, really, I guess he just needs 1 word, brew, or squirrel. Just telling him where to go with it. Oh boy. VFL in Texas said, I saw rumors about a 3rd deck being added in Neyland, yay or nay. Okay, so this came up last Thursday because these rumors started swirling last Wednesday. Here's what happened. Someone on Twitter, so obviously that is a strong start to the story. Someone on Twitter talked about how they had an AI generated image of Neyland Stadium, and it had a third deck on it. And they were like, "We need to do this." And somebody then took that image, that tweet, and tweeted it at Danny White and said, make it 110,000 seats. And Danny White replied, or actually quote tweeted that, and he said, "Is 110,000 enough? We're already short on student tickets by 25,000 or something like that." And he was like, we may need more than that. Well, then, oh buddy, the fuel was flamed or
Yep.
whatever. The flame was fueled. There you go. And everybody started chiming in like, "Give us a third deck, Danny. It'd be awesome," and all this kind of stuff. That's where it came from. Um, I mean, there's no official rumor or even speculation about it right now.
There's no way that place is structurally sound enough to add another deck. Anybody who's sat in that top deck and felt it move in the wind, no.
Yeah, that's fair. Sam said, "Did you see the UTC coach said they had to signal the plays in any way, and he doesn't see an advantage to the in-helmet communications?"
He's also a defensive guy.
So it's not legit. The theories about the third deck, at least not yet. Danny White, I mean, dude is a mastermind at fundraising, and I got, could he do it in the future? Maybe, but definitely not yet. Definitely not yet. Matt said oxygen mask would be required on the third deck. Matt is exactly right about this. He said, "I'm thinking headphones will be most beneficial during away games," and he is 100% correct. That is when it'll be most helpful. So with that being said, Rustin, or second, it's 9:52. I love it. I love you guys, man. This is awesome. It's so cool. The second question I had for you tonight, Rustin. We talked about who do we think we're going to be talking about specifically player wise. Now I'm going to ask you, what do you want to see? What do you want to see happen offensively and defensively?
Again, I think Heupel is always very conservative in these games. He doesn't want to show anyone anything. So I would love to see our offense just move the ball at will, running our base stuff. UTC is not bad. This is the number 9 team in America in FCS. So if we can push them around and bully them running our base stuff, that's a huge positive. If we can just play basic zone coverage on defense and get home with 4 and just send 4 guys every down, that's a huge positive. Because then we're not giving anybody anything to scout. Like there's nothing that video is worthless at that point. So I think if we can bully people and dominate the line of scrimmage, running our base stuff, that's a huge positive. Outside of that, typical non-conference game. Let's get a bunch of guys a lot of snaps and keep everybody healthy. If those 3 things happen, that's a great day.
Amen. My first 3 things that I want to see are not flashy. I want to see no injuries. I want to see no turnovers and no pre-snap penalties. Especially the first 2, no injuries and no turnovers. If there's 1 or 2 false starts, that's not good, but it's not terrible either. So hopefully none of that. But man, that's the main thing. No injuries and no turnovers. That's what I want to see. And I want to see Nico air it out a couple times. And I want to see Gaston Moore air it out a couple times. That's what I want to see. Throw that thing deep, man. Throw it deep. Bender of Strings said a third deck Neyland would look like the Quidditch World Cup stadium. That's pretty good. I like that one. That's pretty good. VFL in Texas said, as long as we don't have another Georgia State game. Yeah, for real. For real, man. Matt said up 45-13, but I'm a Chattanooga boy. So we're from Chattanooga as well. So that's cool, Matt. It's good to have another Chattanooga guy on here. So that leads into my last question. Rustin, what is your score prediction for this Saturday?
I All right. So right now we're 38 and a half point favorites, which is a big number. Um, I think the odds makers are slightly underestimating what UTC has. They're better than people realize. Um, Again, I think Heupel is going to stay real basic. I don't think we're going to show anything offensively. So I don't think we cover that spread. I'm going 41-10. Um, if I think we will cover the spread if we get a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown. If one of those two things happen, then okay, it might end up being, 52-10. But if none of that happens, then I'm going 41. Sorry. If none of that happens, then I'm going 41-10.
So I went back and forth on this. I was debating between 52-10 and 52-13. I've been thinking about this for the last few days. And I think that the final score ends up being 52-13 because UTC gets a late field goal. I think that's what happens. So I'm going to say 52-13. Tony actually said the exact same score. He said 52-13. Mino Laggy said 42-12. That's a very good prediction as well. Woo, Eric. Eric said 63-3. I think UTC. I hope they don't score more than 3, but I think they might. That would be a nice start to the season, though, right there.
If that right there happens, then we have more than exceeded expectations, and we physically dominated at every position, and that would be huge to see.
Carson said he's got 59-10. Robert says 65-0. I like it, Robert. I hope you're right. That'd be stout if we did that. I hope you're right. That would be awesome. Oreo Puppy Dog said Tennessee wins 52-10 because playing everyone, or it would look like a basketball score. Let's see some of the other predictions that have come in. Hey, VFL in Texas said going to Chattanooga next week for the wife's birthday. Awesome, welcome. He said restaurant suggestions. Yes, Tony's Pasta downtown in the Bluffview Art District. That is the best restaurant in Chattanooga, in my opinion. Rustin, what's your prediction, or what would your restaurant suggestion be?
If you were going down in downtown, I would say Tony's. Yeah, I would go with that. If you're not going to be downtown, if you're going to be up near Ottawa, I would go with El Primo or 1885 Grill.
Yep. So America Scenic City, Chattanooga. So I'm talking about. Yeah, Tony's Pasta downtown. If you're in that area, you can't go wrong with that place, man. It's amazing.
Not a paid advertisement.
Yeah, not a sponsor. Could be. Hey, we're open. We're here for you, Tony's. Let's see. Mr. Jones said Vols can accidentally score 50, 72-0. Holy cow. Woo! I can't get on board with that one. I don't think that's going to happen because UTC is a better team than that. They just are. I mean, some people have them predicted to win the Southern Conference this year. Southern Conference is legit. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Mississippi Vol said 45-10. I'd say that's a pretty good prediction. Brennan said 42-13. Great prediction. Sam said we don't need to give them a yard. Brennan said, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Brennan said the Feed Table, great restaurant in Chattanooga. Absolutely.
Yep. That's excellent. Also, if you like Mexican and you're going to be downtown, Taco Mamacita is really good.
Matt made a fantastic point. He said Rembrandt's for a coffee next door to Tony. So that is literally my wife and I's probably favorite date in town. We go to Tony's Pasta for dinner, then we go to Rembrandt's after it for dessert, and she gets a coffee there. That is like the date to do in Chattanooga, Tennessee, right there. So, I think that's a winner for you right there.
It also
Let's
doesn't.
see.
It also doesn't hurt that Rembrandt's makes all their own desserts in house from scratch. So a lot of good options there as well.
Yep, not too shabby over there. Bender of Strings, and the atmosphere is really really cool. Bender of Strings said the Cajun Pasta Bowl is the goat at Tony's. Yes, I'm talking about. So we got another Chattanooga guy. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome. Tony said, I want to see William Satterwhite get a lot of playing time at center. Hey, I'm all for that.
Yep.
Get Cooper out of the game. Keep that dude healthy and safe. I'm all for that. Mr. Jones said UTC will treat this like a bye week.
UTC has a lot of Knoxville kids, and a lot of them are starting. So like this is their opportunity to come home, play in front of all their family and friends. There are a lot of Knoxville kids on UTC's roster, and they will show up ready to go.
Yeah, I just remind everybody of Austin P last year. That game was way closer than anybody wanted it to be. So I wouldn't overlook anybody. Greenwave said True is best friend's little brother plays offensive line for ETC. So that's a Knoxville connection there. Fort Rep 1, welcome, buddy. He said North Carolina State plays tomorrow, right? They do. That is accurate. I mean, it's a no-name team. I can't remember who it is, but it's nobody. So we might learn a little bit, but nothing major, about like what they're going to learn about us on Saturday. Mr. Jones said, is there a restaurant called Crow's so Bama can eat crow after they lose? Unfortunately not. Matt also makes some good suggestions here. Stir has great food as well. Stir is down near the Chattanooga Choo Choo. They got some good food down there as well. So, hey, VFL, he said he's staying at the Reed House. That's what I'm talking about. First time staying in Chattanooga instead of driving through. You will love the Reed House. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. It is on the National Registry of Historic Places. So you will love the Reed House. Just a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Let's see. Monica. Welcome, Monica. Good to have you. We're glad you're with us. I believe I saw Monica's name on the College Football Pick'em Challenge. Let's see. I can find out real quick. I'm pretty sure I saw her on there. There is a Monica on there. So maybe the same one. Tony.
I just scrolled through UTC's roster. They have 10 players from the Knoxville area. So they will have a lot of kids rolling out there going, this is my one chance.
Mr. Osborne, I love this one. He said, of course, being an ETSU alum, I hope to see an obliteration of the Bucks. But I know they're a talented FCF team. Go Bucks. I love that. That's awesome. Very cool. Tony said, just curious, Florida or Miami? Ooh. So I picked Miami. Who'd you pick, Rustin?
I went with Vegas. Vegas picked Miami. It was a coin toss for me. I don't trust Miami at all, especially in Gainesville. So I just went with Vegas on that one.
Mr. Jones said, what animal is a mock? We got to keep the zoo going. It's a mockingbird, actually.
It used to be a moccasin, and then they decided that the mockingbird
as in the shoe,
was a better path to
not
go.
the snake, a shoe.
Yeah. So
they
had all the opportunity in the world to take the moccasin and turn it into a water moccasin, which would have made a lot of sense and had a really cool snake logo. But no, we decided to go with a tiny little bird that doesn't strike fear in the heart of anyone. And only comes to red feeders that have sugar water in it.
Yep.
That's a hummingbird. What is a mockingbird?
Mockingbird's a little gray bird with the white feathers that makes all the difference.
Oh, the little one that runs around the ground chirping?
Yeah, it imitates other birds' voices. That's why they call it a mockingbird.
But is it the one that runs around on the ground all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing's irritating. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just got even worse.
Um, yeah, we remember the days when it was the moccasins, as in the footwear, but um,
Nothing more
Green,
intimidating than a giant shoe running around your stadium.
yes, absolutely. That actually was the mascot for a while.
Oh yeah, he was blue.
Yeah. So Green Wave said Devin is listed from Lebanon, but he played in Knox Catholic for 3 years. It's his, I believe he said his cousin. Matt said they're trying to make Chattanooga the first city national park in our country. He's right. They are trying to do that. And he's right.
Yep.
It is about to happen. Mr. Osborne said he's got Florida at home. Let's see. 10 Cup said NC State plays Western Carolina at 7 on ACC Network. So, yeah, I mean, another Southern Conference school. So, very similar to what they'll get the same scouting report on us as we get on them this week. VFL said he's got Florida at home. Vols Titan said Mockingbirds are state bird. It is. That's right.
It's actually a very comparable opponent. Western Carolina is preseason number 20 in FCS. So both teams are playing top 25 FCS teams to open the season.
Matt didn't like us making fun of the shoe. I'm sorry, Matt. Matt, just so you know, I am a 4th generation Mock. Our
great grandfather.
Great grandfather. Yeah. So Paul Lester Palmer, our great grandfather, is a professor emeritus of psychology at UTC. So we got deep ties to UTC for sure. Let's see. Bender of Strength said Miami has a Butch Jones level coach. I think Florida wins.
Which is weird because Mario Cristobal has been wildly successful everywhere else he's been. Like, I cannot figure out why they can't put it together at Miami.
Brennan said, I agree with Rustin. A lot of fairly local UTC fans are going to the game because of Knoxville players. Let's see. Yeah. Kyle, welcome, buddy. Good to have you.
And Chattanooga players. There's a lot of guys from around the Chattanooga area that play at UTC. Like, East Tennessee is going to be well represented on that field Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. Tony said, I wish North Dakota State would beat Colorado. Probably won't happen. That would be amazing, actually, if they did. I would love it. I don't think it'll happen either, but I would love it.
I will say, of all the games that I was watching or most interested in, that's probably it. Because if there was a team that could give Colorado fits, it is North Dakota State. They'll just show up and punch them in the mouth and run it down their throats. And it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out.
Kyle said, I really believe we score 56, UTC maybe 3. I think UTC will probably score more than that, but we could definitely score 56 for sure. Mr. Osborne said, I will say ETSU is a very nice outdoor stadium name, much better than the Dome back in the mid-'80s when I was in Johnson City. Yeah, that
mini dome.
Yeah, it was kind of small, wasn't it? 10 Cup said, Mockingbirds are great. He said, if you listen closely, they go on with different calls for several minutes. There's always a cricket sound. So I agree about the several minutes part. And here's, and I could be just biased against Mockingbirds based on what happened at my house. There was a mockingbird that made a nest right outside our master bedroom window, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And I don't know if the bird had an alarm clock set or what, but every single night between 1 to 2 a.m., it would start. And the bird would literally make every known sound to human existence. It would make every sound for at least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And it was so loud that it would wake us up and we'd just be laying there like, is it ever going to stop making a sound?
That was my fault. That was when I was showing up and poking it.
Oh, I got you. I understand. Vols Titan said Mario's in-game coaching is suspect. The game against Georgia Tech may be the worst in-game decision ever. 100%.
So bad that Josh Mancuso included it in a video. Just there aren't many individual plays that he mentions in a video.
Brennan says, same here, Evan. Mockingbirds are terrible. We have them here. I like it. Tyler said, at this point, I think Rustin needs to move to Honolulu, get away from Mockingbirds, and lead the dance chant for Hawaii week 2.
I don't think I'm allowed to lead the haka. I don't think I have the clearance for that.
Eric said, I think Colorado State will give Colorado fits when they play them. I think so. It's always a good game. I don't know why, but it always is. Kyle said, I'm intrigued with the West Virginia and Penn State game. Oh, for sure. No doubt. Listen, there's really about 5 good games this week. That's one of them right there, West Virginia and Penn State, because it's at West Virginia. So that's definitely one of them. And you know what? That's a good whoa, Audrey. Well done, madam. Audrey said, is Choo Choo Barbecue and Golly Whopper still in Chattanooga? So
One for
yes
two.
to Choo Choo Barbecue. Choo Choo Barbecue is actually franchised now in Chattanooga. Essentially, they have, I think, at least 3 locations, maybe more.
I think
but they do have 3.
5. I think it's up to 5 now.
So Golly Whoppers, yeah, Brennan just hit the nail on the head. He said Golly Whoppers, unfortunately, no. So Golly Whoppers had the best barbecue sandwich I have ever had in my life. It was so good, and unfortunately, it is no longer around, which is really, really sad. Tin Cup said that the mockingbirds sit outside his bedroom every afternoon. Well, the afternoon I'd be cool with. It's 2 a.m. that I'm not cool with. Sam said Dion thinks the media is a bunch of mockingbirds. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Mr. Osborne said, I'm looking forward to A&M and Notre Dame. I think A&M wins. VFL in Texas said I got Notre Dame winning. I actually agree with VFL in Texas. I got Notre Dame in that one. Tyler said another vote for Tony's and Rembrandt's best combo in downtown Chattanooga. Totally agree. Totally agree. Tony said, I know it's football time, but what about my man Tony V's new contract? I wish I had that contract. That is one heck of a contract. That is a nice deal right there. Bender of Strings said Armando's used to have the best burgers in Chattanooga. I don't know if they're around anymore. They are. There's 2 locations. They are owned by different people. In my opinion, the best burger was at the East Brainerd Road location. That has now been sold to people who have moved here from other parts of the country. It is still good, not as good as it used to be. But yeah, they're always good. Matt said he thinks Dion is a mockingbird. This has become a very bird heavy episode. What's the bird, the study of birds and stuff? I can't think of it. It's some fancy word. Oh man, it's gonna bug me now.
Boring.
Like when people go bird watching, there's like a fancy word for it.
Right. I said boring.
No, I can't think of what it is.
Ornithology.
Ornithology. Dadgummit. I knew it started with an O. I was like, it starts with an O. I couldn't think of what it was though. Ornithology. This is a very ornithological centric episode.
I heard Jackson Ross is an ambipedal ornithologist.
Well played. Well played. Tyler said Danny White subtly changing the Lower West Club to a sponsorship deal. The man is always making money.
Got to pay
There's
Tony
no doubt
Vitello.
about that. Yeah, now he's got to pay Tony.
He's gonna be he's gonna have a lemonade stand set up outside Neyland Stadium on Saturday. He's got to find every revenue stream he can.
Mr. Jones said it's called bird watching. And then he said we're stalking. Tin Cup said baseball might turn into a revenue sport. Tony's doing a great job. I think it may already actually be.
Not now that he got that contract. It's not.
Well, yeah, that kind of.
They got to finish that stadium and add some more seats. They got to sell a lot more tickets and T-shirts to pay Tony.
So Bender of Strings said Merv's has good burgers too, and Matt said he went there for lunch day. I've never been to Merv's. Where is that? I've lived in Chattanooga for 39 years. I've never even been to this place. I don't even know where that is. Well, so Tennessee's playing UTC this week. Rustin predicts 41-10. That was your final prediction, right?
Yeah. There's one on Highway 58, but there's also one in Red Bank and one in Dayton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Matt just at base of Signal Mountain. That's what I'm talking about. So Rustin predicts 41-10. I'm saying 52-13. That's my final prediction. Mr. Osborne said Ian Fleming took the name James Bond from a book by the ornithologist James Bond, a little book and movie trivia. Dude, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Didn't expect to hear that one tonight.
Tyler said 41. Rustin is not high on the offense.
It's not that I'm not high on the offense. I don't think we're going to run anything. I think we're going to run RPOs up and down the field all day. And, look at past history. In these games, Heupel doesn't show anything. He just runs the base stuff. And, against bad teams, you'll still score a ton and run it up. But UTC is not a bad defense. And so, I think we'll score 40-ish, and that'll be sufficient.
Bender String said it's off Signal Mountain Road, and Matt said it's got new ownership, not as good. That's Merv's, by the way, in case people are wondering. Eric said Rustin needs to put a app in at University of Tennessee to become offensive analyst for Coach Hype. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Jones said Vol's going to win the trifecta.
That would
baseball,
be
basketball, and Natty.
That would be a life dream right there. I can sit and chop up X's and O's all day long, and if I got paid to do it, that would be enormous.
Tony said, "Can a mockingbird catch a squirrel? We shall see Saturday." Sam said, "Tremont Tavern has a great burger." Yes, they do. Matt agrees with that. Yeah, that's a fair assessment right there.
Yeah. The major problem with that though is I have to take my life in my hands to go get it. So not a huge fan of that area of town.
Rebecca said, "My husband's a bird watcher. Seriously, can't make this stuff up. Travels all over the world to take pics of birds." That's what I'm talking about. Hey, so I will say this. So I'm a photographer, and on the side, I'm a photographer. And if anybody wants to see my stuff, go to epiercemedia.com. I got some stuff on there you can look at. But birds, it is so relaxing and challenging all at the same time to take photos of birds. Like I got a Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter lens. It's sitting over there. I can't reach it. Otherwise I'd show it on camera. But it's a ginormous lens, and I got it. And I love going out and taking photos of birds in my backyard. So I totally get that, Rebecca, because it's so challenging to get a good image of it. So it's like the competitor in me. It's almost like me against the birds and the trying to get the photo of it. So I get that. But it's also just so relaxing watching them and then trying to catch the photo and editing them and stuff to make them look cool. I don't know. So tell your husband, he's the man. I get it. Yeah, Tyler said the look of disgust on Rustin's face at me right now. Mr. Jones is talking about Dollywood now for some reason. Let's see. Let's see here. Kyle said, "Big Orange Rolls UTC will be blown away with our speed and our size."
I hope so.
I mean, I hope so, but they're good, man. Like UTC, they're a good team. Well, to the 277 people watching across all three platforms right now, we really appreciate you very, very much. I will recommend, we still got about a little over an hour and a half. You can enter the College Football Pick'em Challenge at thevolbros.com/contest. And I just put that in the comments again. Let's see. I'm also going to put it on Twitter again one more time. Well, I mean, it's already on there. So I strongly recommend everybody go to thevolbros.com/contest. The winner gets a $50 Alumni Hall gift card. It's only $5 to enter, so it's great return on investment if you win. Each week we'll pick the 10 best games nationally. This week we got the lineup already there, but the thing is the first game's tomorrow, so you got to pick by tonight. So you got about an hour and a half. Still do what, Rustin?
Row the boat.
Well,
just kidding. I picked North Carolina.
The first game is tomorrow night. It's North Carolina at Minnesota. Mr. Osborne said he entered yesterday. Should be fun. Absolutely. It's a blast. The winner last year went 93-37, which is just fantastic. I went 90-40, so I was close, but it's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. The last game this week is a little bit different. It's on Sunday night. It's USC against LSU in Vegas.
That'll be a good game.
Oh, for sure. Kyle said defense will score at least 2 touchdowns. Offense will score at least 42.
Ooh.
I mean, that'd be amazing if they did that, but I don't think. I mean, I hope so, but I don't predict that to happen. I hope they do though. Mr. Jones said UTC is good, same as Vandy is good.
Honestly, they probably would give them a game.
Justin, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, what's good in Tennessee tonight? We're just excited about seeing the Big Orange on Saturday. Audrey said, oh, yum. Those killer potatoes were fire at Golly Whoppers. Had the best chicken salad, and desserts were a weakness of mine. Yep.
All very true statements.
UTC may be good, but they ain't Tennessee good, Evan. I totally agree. That's what I said earlier. I think Tennessee skull drags UTC. Honestly, I don't think Coach Heupel has too much to show for Tennessee. Has to show much to smoke them. I mean, I predicted 52-13, so I think they're going to win too. Let's see. Mr. Osborne said LSU against USC. That's who I picked.
I think this LSU team, if Blake Baker has done, what I think he's done defensively, I think this LSU team's going to be a lot better than people realize.
Matt said Jermon McCoy gets an interception this weekend. Rebecca said, seriously, fighting nature to get a good pick. I'm with Rustin. I don't get it either.
Yeah. I don't have that many hours in the day.
Bender of String said, if that Mockingbird don't sing, are we going to get an SEC championship? Nice, man. Well played. Well played. Well, all right. Well, I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us tonight instead of tomorrow night. It's an unusual week, I know. But Saturday, 12:45 p.m., the most random start time to a football game in the last 30 years. So this Saturday, 12:45 in Neyland Stadium. To the 278 people watching right now, thank you so much for watching across all 3 platforms. We really do appreciate it. We got 238 on X, 40 on YouTube, and we just had somebody leave off Facebook, so they just signed off.
Starting Sunday, we'll be back on our normal schedule of Thursday nights and Sunday nights.
Absolutely. Sunday night and Thursday night every week, 9:00 Eastern. That's when we're live. It's just a little bit different this week because of traveling and that kind of thing. So I hope everybody has a great evening. Loved talking with all y'all tonight. This has been a blast. Go to volbros.com, thevolbros.com/contest. The link is in the comments. You can still sign up. Not too late. You got an hour and a half left to sign up. So hope everybody does. It's a lot of fun. Matt said, good stuff, y'all. That was fun. Go Mocs, go Vols. Absolutely, man. Totally agree. So everybody get your picks in at thevolbros.com/contest. And we look forward to seeing everybody Sunday night as we're celebrating a Tennessee victory to start the season. So good night, everybody, and go Vols.